Welcome back to Yakuza Man Kiwami. Train is here. Sabo is either kill or randomly appear in like 10 minutes. I am Dan.
So, hey, you remember, Dan, how you told us about that game you really liked?
Which one?
And by really liked, I mean the one that you spent like 15 minutes telling me how much it sucks.
I don't remember talking about Mario Wonder like that. I love Mario Wonder.
I was talking about Bomb Future Jet Set. I don't.
Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. I knew exactly what you were talking about from the beginning. I was just being coy.
So anyway, it's my turn to do that.
Okay, cool. Is it with Spider-Man?
Yes. So anyway, Spider-Man 2 came out.
By the way, I was gonna say this is gonna be funny because it's gonna be the exact opposite of my other friend who absolutely beat the game today and loved it all the way through.
Oh, I mean, I really liked it, but also, let me spend an hour. Have you got an hour for me to tell you about how much it sucks, though?
Well, usually we record for about an hour, so.
Alright, so I will get a few things out of the way. So for starters, movement, really good.
From what I've seen, the movement looks amazing.
I kind of still don't really like the gliding, but I won't say that it's not well implemented. You know, map's nice. It looks nice. You know, everything looks nice. Most of the suits. This is a detriment because most of the suits look like ass.
Oh.
But holy shit, the classic black suit is literally the best suit in the game. And I'm kind of mad that since the game has no New Game Plus, it's like fucking ages down the tree before you get it.
Wait, there's no New Game Plus?
No, not on launch. It's going to be added post-launch, like Spider-Man 1 was. So
okay.
That's another thing.
To be fair, I didn't even know it was added in post-launch in the first one because I didn't play it at launch.
Yeah, so in the launch of the first game, it didn't have New Game Plus at launch, which, you know, fair enough. I wasn't really expecting to have a New Game Plus, and I was happy to get it. And then Miles Morales had a New Game Plus out the gate, so I have no idea why this game doesn't have New Game Plus out the gate. There's also some other really bizarre features.
On the plus side,
I don't know why they're not in.
I guess on the plus side for me, when I get it in like a year or two and it released on Steam, I'll have it.
Another thing I don't understand, you can't change time of day. You could in literally both other games. I don't understand.
Well, you couldn't. Wasn't it only after story you could do that?
Yeah, but I've beaten the story and I still can't do it.
Oh.
Like, this isn't a case of I'm halfway through the game. I fucking marathoned the game when it came out.
Sorry, I just had to double check. I remember you said you beat it, but I was just like, wait, hold on, let me just double check the thing real quick.
When I say I marathoned it, I literally mean I straight up told people, like the people I live with, yeah, you're not going to see me for like 2 days.
You know, that's...
And I didn't see them for 2 days.
You know, that's what happened to me. I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I remember I did that with Soul Calibur 3.
So, I clocked in about 23 hours before I fully beat it. So, but what I will say, yeah, there's a number of features that I just don't understand why they're not in from the start. It's also pretty buggy.
Oh?
There are lots of... I've had it multiple times where I get glitched, where I or enemies get glitched inside buildings or objects that you can't get, that you're not supposed to be able to get into.
Did it do that for 1 on launch?
It didn't on PS4. When I replayed Remaster, I noticed a lot more visual bugs when I played it.
All that money had to go into the Tom Holland face.
Oh no, all the money had to go into funding Last of Us Part 2 Remastered.
Again. Shit.
So,
off of the game.
It's definitely buggy. It has openly crashed, like, way more, like, at least 3
I never had the original
times.
one crash on PS4, at least.
Yeah, like, the original never crashed.
Because I have not played the remaster version. I don't own the Steam version of it yet. I do want to get it at some point just to have it.
So yeah, the remastered version and Miles Morales never crashed. This game has crashed at least, like, 3-4 times. Maybe more, but those I can distinctly remember at least 3 times where it is full crashed. It's just it's just that kind of thing of I'm surprised that the kind of bugs it does have, and this is like post sort of like patch like day 1 patches. I mean, they had a patch today, but it was mostly because they put the wrong fucking flag in Miles Morales' apartment.
You know what? Didn't have a day 1 patch. Mario. You know what doesn't have any patches still? Mario. Do you know what doesn't need any patches? Mario. Anyway, continue. Sorry, I just wanted to be a smartass for a second.
That's fine. Where was it? So yeah, I mean, performance-wise, it's a bit. I'm not sure why. It's a bit unstable, but which I don't think it's not like unplayable, but there are definitely some. There's definitely a lot more issues than I've noticed in previous games. So I'm hoping they get patched out. Like it.
So they might have
definitely
rushed it out.
They might have done. I do suspect New Game Plus was intentionally left out for various reasons.
They probably crunched that game to hell and back, unfortunately.
I don't think it was left out for crunch. I actually have this even more sinister suspicion that it might have been done for other, so they can re-add stuff that was already in past games and then pretend it's, oh look, we're doing you a favour, because there's a lot of good suits that they've just cut from the last game in order to, but don't worry, we get to have our like 6 or 7 Tom Holland suits.
That sounds like a Disney mandate.
Maybe, but...
Gotta have Tom Holland! The best Spider-Man!
And holy fuck, I will say, like, the suit Miles gets at the end
I
of
will
the
say,
game,
just as an aside, there is no perfect live-action Peter/Spider-Man. We've talked about that before, but I just wanted to say that real quick.
Well, I've got opinions on Spider-Man adaptations as a whole, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So
you did say we would be here for an hour.
Okay. I do have a lot to say. But yeah, there's just stuff that is in remastered that I have no idea like why some of those suits aren't back, other than cynical. They're gonna add them back in as DLC or as like post-release content to say, hey, look, we're supporting the game by giving you the Kane Scarlet Spider suit that was already in. And I'm like, I really like that suit. Why isn't it in? Why do I have to have the new Scarlet Spider suit? The one that looks like ass. At least give me like Ben Reilly's Spider-Man suit.
Right?
But
the fact that Ben Reilly's isn't in there is kind of insane to me.
No, we get like Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider suit. So like, but I'm talking about the suit he had when he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked that suit. I don't think any game has ever had that.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
So anyway, actually talking about the game and the things that I don't like. So spoilers, I guess. I know you don't care.
By the time I play it, it won't really matter. So
yeah, Harry Venom is the worst. I mean, it's
what?
Not, like the worst, but like
Harry Venom.
Yeah, Harry's Venom.
Okay.
And the problem is, it's like the exact same story as Amazing Spider-Man 2. In that, oh no, Harry's sick, and Harry wasn't in the last game. I mean, he was, but in like flashbacks, but in like voice recording, but also recorded by a different guy. So we replaced Harry's model and character, well, I say model design, and voice with this new guy, and he's fine. But like Harry and Venom is just the worst of all worlds, because it's like that's not a storyline that Harry is good at. It's like having the whole Harry's sick and he asked Pete to help him, and then Pete's like, well, there's legitimate reasons why I can't help you immediately, but give me like some time and I'll find another way to help you, and that's not good enough, and then I'm going to become a supervillain. And if you're wondering, man, that sounds familiar, yeah, that's basically Amazing Spider-Man 2's plot.
Yeah,
it's off to a rollicking good start. Have you ever said, hey, how much do you like black suit stuff? Because this game is, in a lot of ways, the greatest hits of black suit stuff.
I mean, I like the black suit.
And none of it is as good as the things it's ripping off, sadly.
Is it ever, though, to be fair?
So, the end game is Web of Shadows.
Web of Shadows?
Straight up, they just do Web of Shadows plot. That makes symbiote horde to infect city.
They just do Web of Shadows?
Yeah, they just straight up do Web of Shadows.
Okay. Hold on, does MJ get a shotgun, though?
No, MJ becomes
inferior
Scream.
web shot. Inferior.
No, MJ becomes Scream for one boss fight. Like Black Cat became a symbiote for one boss fight. So, yeah, it is just straight up Web of Shadows. I will say I do like the Venomized city look at the end.
Though it is still the inferior version, considering, no shotgun for MJ.
Yeah, but not as whiny Peter voice, so... Oh, actually, MJ doesn't get a shotgun, but she does get a stun gun, and also a web shoot gun.
Well, she had a stun gun in the last game towards the end.
Yeah, but this one actually shoots, well, sonic bolts, so there is, like, an end game where you, as MJ, have to run and gun through a symbiote nest and shoot things.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
I mean, it's better than her other segments, I'll give you that much. But it does, to paraphrase Bruce Campbell, highlight another problem I have with the game, which is, what would Spider-Man be without his spider powers? Will he be man? Is that what you came here to play? Man too? Because, fuck me, there's like 3 different sort of cycling minigame things.
I know that there's like a whole thing with a deaf girl in graffiti.
Oh god, that mission. I will say, I probably hate that mission more than I should, because that mission had a glitch when I played it that forced me to restart, which then meant going through it all again, and I just didn't care about the character anyway, so that really didn't endear me. But
God damn it. I didn't want to fight these guys.
Yeah,
fine.
But yeah, so I am going to complain, because, I don't know, like, as I said, the problem, I said, alluded to this last week, is that Harry's stories are best with Goblin for very specific reasons, because it, like, you could do things like the new, like, secondary Goblin, couples with, like...
now if you do Eddie, you're going to have just, it's going to be like it's going to be kind of like, how do I phrase this? Man, saying it this way is the best I got, but it sounds so pretentious. Tainted? When you bring him in, if you do?
Why?
Because just now in this version.
Well, I mean, you could, but then
Lessens the impact.
Yeah, but therein lies the other problem I have, and this one isn't really with Spider-Man 2. This is with adaptations in general, which I did say we'd get back to. But one thing I fucking hate that modern stuff has done is it's just made the suit Venom. Like, whoever is wearing the suit is no longer important. Whoever gets it, yeah, they're just Venom.
That's not how Venom works.
Yeah, I know, but that's what
Venom is literally 2 personalities.
Well, yeah, I know that, and you know that, and then
like I know this because I love fucking Venom. He's my favorite, and I love even like the version of Venom you don't care for. You know, the Eddie Brock versions I'm talking. So like. I know Venom like the back of my... I'm talking about like when he's like... I'm talking about like I also even like Lethal... Yeah, I also like that too. But I fucking love Venom. I know how it works. Hell, even like when they did in mind you, this took place in another continuity with that Gwen where she became Gwenom. Even they fucking knew that it's 2 fucking personalities.
But, as I said,
now in that one, they eventually kind of there's still 2 personalities, but it becomes more symbiotic and they become a hero character. But it's you know they fucking understood Venom, they got it.
Said, this is mostly a problem with a lot of adaptations these days. I'm thinking like, I'm not sure if Ultimate Spider-Man the cartoon might have been the progenitor of this. But definitely one of the bigger offenders of whoever has it, they're just Venom now.
I never watched Amazing, to be honest.
Ultimate.
Or Ultimate, sorry.
I didn't watch it either, but I have seen enough of it or I've seen enough stuff about it to be able to know, oh yeah, everyone who gets it, they're just Venom. That's a Venom, that is. Instead of, making it.
You know, it's gonna sound fuck, but this kind of annoys me more than the MJ stuff. I know it might sound funny, but I'm a fucking Venom fan, man.
Well, herein lies the problem, right? And it's, aside from just why I think Harry doesn't really work as Venom, why... But, like, part of the other problem is... And this is technically a Web of Shadows problem, because that's what we're ripping off. Venom isn't actually, like, a good villain to have as, like, your big... let's end the city kind of character.
Yeah.
Because what makes Venom work is it's meant to be like a much more personal thing.
Honestly, the better way if you're going to use Venom as a big part of a story is he should be like a midpoint character you deal with. Like early to midpoint character you deal with. Then like the big shit happens and then Venom has to deal with either do I still try to kill Peter or do I deal with this thing that's a threat to me as well?
I mean, I think you can still have Venom as a final antagonist, but the problem is that making him, like, a citywide threat is...
Well, no, you do it at the fucking end. You then have him, like, do things like, oh, cool, we beat it. So anyway, Parker, round 2?
See, what I would do is I would have Venom as, like, a random encounter kind of thing.
Yeah!
As you're swinging around, you have a chance of Venom just...
like fucking Majima's everywhere bullshit, but with Venom. Parker!
Well,
Pops out of a trash can.
I mean, that's just I mean, that is PS1 Venom. So, I'm all for that.
Yeah, but PS1 Venom's fucking amazing.
I'll say this. Oh, I agree. I said I'm all for that. So I will say Miles is in a really weird spot.
So that sounds like Miles anyway. Continue.
Oh, it's kind of worse. He's like literally in like these two. He has these two sort of really. It's really hard to say this because it does sound like these two things shouldn't be what they are. But he's kind of like simultaneously a Mary Sue and also has like virtually nothing to do for most of the game.
I can't really comment on this since I haven't played it, to be fair.
Alright, so so basically Miles' plotline for most of the game, because he has nothing to... He has literally one sentence, like, shared with Harry Osborn before, you know, the whole Venom thing happens. So he has nothing to do with Black Suit Spidey or Kraven or anything like that. His whole plot is Martin Lee has escaped. But actually, the plot that keeps coming up more is he can't write 500 words for his college application.
Okay, but
that's kind of his plot.
That's kind of funny.
But it's not really meant to be funny though. It's meant to be dramatic. Like, I just can't find the words. You know, a kid who fucking volunteers at a homeless shelter, who is like his mother is a counselor and is like an actual pillar of his community. So he has, like, virtually nothing going on because the whole Martin Lee thing is, I need to find Martin Lee. I need to find Martin Lee. I need to find Martin Lee. And everyone's like, don't kill Martin Lee. And then he finds him and then he doesn't kill him.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, nothing in Miles' character makes me think he would try to kill Martin Lee.
Yeah.
I don't really feel the drama there. Like, he doesn't have, like, the young Peter Parker anger thing.
And also, you know... Unlike Pete, he has like 500 people all around him are always like, Miles, you're just the best. Nobody dislikes Miles in universe.
Half the time, Peter Parker's own girlfriend won't even fluff him up anymore.
So like, and that is part of the problem is that Miles has so many characters who basically exist just to prop him up and tell you how great Miles is, including
Peter. I've seen a line from Peter that I was like, wait, what?
And, I mean, part of the end game is Pete basically going, yeah, you're a better Spider-Man than me.
Yeah, I saw that line, and I was like, wait, what?
Feels... Because herein lies my big issue, is that so much of the game is literally about Peter Parker sucks and can't do anything right. So, in the first, like, 30 minutes, he's fired from his teaching job.
Which I guess he got between games.
Yeah, so at the end of Miles Morales, Miles is like, hey, Pete, why don't you try being a teacher?
What is it with this... Was it with... This is like we were talking about before last week with the Peter Parker has to be miserable thing.
So anyway, Miles, like, says, hey, you should be a teacher, and then Pete gets a job as a teacher, and then, like, Sandman attacks, and he's got to go deal with that, and then the principal's like, yeah, you can't just abandon your students in the middle of a citywide... emergency, you're fired. So then Harry Osborn comes back from the not dead, and he's like, hey Pete, we're going to set up a foundation. You basically set up Parker Industries, but they call it the Emily May Foundation. And it's going to do all this science to save the world, and then, you know, Venom stuff happens and the foundation gets destroyed. So then he's still out of a job. And then you know, the black suit stuff happens, and in a really bizarre twist of events, as soon as he becomes the black suit Spidey, like the fucking happy podcaster from Miles Morales, who I can't stand because she's just so happy and positive. She's immediately like, "Oh man, Spidey's in the black suit. I think he's going evil, guys. He's turning evil, guys. He's really looking evil. I don't like this. This is bad." And it's like, he hasn't done anything. And
honestly, it would make more sense if he hasn't done anything at that point for like some like weird young podcast to be like, "Yo, it's so cool! It's like one of those Dark Avengers. It's so awesome! I love it! I love the new look." It should be something like that.
And then they had this whole thing of he chases the lizard through the streets and causes all this destruction. I'm like, oh my god, Spider-Man! I can't believe you did all this damage. And I'm like, do you not remember that all the stuff
lizard?
You did in the first? Do you not remember all the stuff that happened in the first game? Remember when you put a wrecking ball on a helicopter and trashed half of New York?
I do.
Do you remember when you ripped a subway up out the ground? And then you don't remember, but in Miles Morales, Miles blew up a fucking bridge.
Jesus!
And then it's like, no, okay, okay, well, everyone's allowed to make mistakes.
Well, you see, well, that one was Miles. It's okay.
That's the point. That is genuinely why I say he feels really Suish, because then it's like his Venom powers are getting stronger. He has all of this going for him. Everybody loves him. Everyone says he's so good. He's the better Spider-Man. And I'm like, all right, tone it down, guys. This is kind of why I think Miles struggles in like sharing spotlight with Peter, because Miles is at his best when he can just be on his own, and when he's with Peter, it's like, well, you basically have to beat down Pete in order.
You either have to beat down Pete or make a Miles be the protege,
the sidekick,
yeah.
Which is not doing him any favors, and it's certainly not doing Pete any favors. Just no, I like Miles. It's just this game doesn't really treat him nice. And holy fuck, his final suit might genuinely be the worst spider suit I've ever seen.
What?
I'll find a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll look at it in a second once you get it up there, because right now I'm in the fight, but I'll pause once it's up.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find it.
I am morbidly curious, because that's a high bar, honestly. Considering.
Hope this isn't too small. Yeah, it's big enough to see.
Alright, let me see this. Okay, let me see. What the fuck?
It's so bad!
What's with the hair?
What's with the sneakers? What's with the loot? It's just... it's
okay,
fucking...
the sneakers, it looked like they looked at Spider-Gwen's costume and didn't get it.
It's just... I have no idea why we went from, you know...
if it wasn't for the fucking weird hair, it would be okay. I would think it'd be okay. Not, like, great, but... You know, alright.
Like, damn, Miles, it just is...
It's not even like it's his hair poking out. It's just... Why?
Yeah, I just kind of...
Because he doesn't really... He has, like, very, like, shaved hair, doesn't he? In this game, Miles?
In this game he has like the front. He has that hair basically.
Oh, okay.
Like he has shaved in like the first.
It still looks pretty bad though.
Oh yeah, it's
poking
terrible.
out of the fucking mask. It looks weird.
Yeah,
like
it's a terrible.
Like the mask having hair poking out only works when someone has long hair and it's poking out the back.
As I said, it's not a great look,
and that's more of an aesthetic choice, to be honest.
And it's probably even more obnoxious seeing it in motion, so, you know, I will never equip that suit.
Jesus Christ.
But, you know, classic black suit, actually fucking amazing. I'll get a picture of that, just so you can see. And one detail I do like is, like, some of the suits, and mostly, like, you know, the sort of classic / game original suits, have shades, and this classic black suit has the shaders that give you like a red and blue outline, so it looks like the animated series Venom.
That's pretty cool.
And also you can have purple shading just in case you want to be Ultimate Spider-Man.
That's pretty cool. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I need to heal myself.
Position, heal thyself.
There we go. Healed myself.
So yeah, I do like this game. Just, you know.
You sure?
Spend a good couple. I had to spend like a good hour complaining.
It was about like 24 minutes.
I mean, I could probably still keep going.
Oh.
There's probably more I'm just not thinking of, because I got through the main points, which is like, is that Mars and Pete kind of get shafted in different ways that feels disingenuous to both of them. Characters just feel weirdly... So they decide JJ's still going to be the podcaster, right? But also he's going to run the Bugle. And this is actually a really annoying MJ bit as well. So
what does MJ do this time?
So, long story short, JJ has this whole mandate of like, well, I'm going to fire all my reporters who don't give me a front-page worthy story, which is a terrible way to run a newspaper.
And also very not JJ.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like JJ.
So MJ spends all of the game. So MJ spends a lot of the game like in the background, going, "Oh, I need to think of something," or Jonah's going to fire me. And it's like, Robbie Robertson has his own people. Why don't you just go and work for Robbie? Everyone likes Robbie. Like they established. Robbie Robertson
let's be
has
fair.
his own newspaper.
Hey, let's be fair. You played the first game. MJ has no fucking brain or empathy.
So rather than, like, I don't know, look at getting another job, she agonizes over working for Jonah. And then she writes an article after Pete gets the black suit and does, you know, black suit Spider-Man stuff, i.e. Like, you've seen the finishes in the first game, right?
Like the...
Oh, yeah. Like, combo finishes, like, special moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really any more brutal ones. And everyone's like, I can't believe Spider-Man is fighting so brutally. I'm like, he snapped that dude's neck in the last game. What are you talking about?
It sounds like it's one of those games that doesn't remember the previous game. It makes me think of... You know what it makes me think of, actually? And let me preface this by saying, I'm not saying it's as bad as this game. It's making me think of Injustice 1 versus Injustice 2, where they contradict themselves several times. Mind you, the stories of both games, even in a vacuum, are trash, but...
I'm not necessarily sure about direct contradictions, but it feels more like the case of these are the points of how the black suit story has to go. Here's the points we have to make.
And we don't really know how we want to convey this, so fuck it.
And conveying it in the visual and conveying it in the medium, especially with the way that they've established how things go previously, just makes it feel odd. Like, in terms of everyone's immediately
maybe.
Everyone's immediately onto the whole black suit equals bad.
Rather than people at first not really giving a shit that he was wearing a black suit.
Yeah, like there's no
Like, I think like in most continuities, most people before he does anything crazy just see the black suit like, hey, new suit!
Yeah, I mean, most people don't even have any awareness that the black suit's actually, you know, making him bad. It's usually Spidey has to figure that out.
Yeah.
But that's also like more of a cartoon thing, because that wasn't even the case in the comics. It's just like, ew, the suit's alive, get it off me.
Yeah. I think the cartoon doing that, though, was really good. It's unfortunate nobody else knows how to fucking do that.
I mean, that's literally the best adaptation we've ever had of Venom,
and everything's been trying to copy it since.
Fight me, and somehow this one show with 3 episodes did a better Venom arc than literally everything else afterwards.
And before, technically.
How embarrassing! Doing something better than what has been established previously is an accomplishment, but it's not like. But you know, that's like, it's sort of almost to be expected. Like, somehow having like the perfect template for how to do this story and then not doing it, and then somehow doing it and then somehow doing it worse.
Not understanding how the original one worked or why it worked.
Yeah.
It's actually very similar to like a lot of like those if you ever like look at bits of like the fucking shitty Disney live action remakes and how they clearly don't understand the source they're working with. Like, they don't understand why the original did this thing, why they had this shot, why, like, the meaning behind any of the stuff. Even though it's a fucking Disney movie, so they're not, like, super deep, but it's just basic, like, film shit, you know? But they don't understand that.
So MJ writes this article that's, like, basically says Spider-Man threat or menace. And then she's like, hey, I want you to read this article I've written. Intending it to be like a whole, she'll show Pete and then maybe he'll see he's being a bully, I guess. Anyway,
coward, cat, bully, and thief.
Pete doesn't get to see it because he has like a whole thing of where he passes out and the symbiote takes him for a joyride, etc. So then she just publishes the article anyway. It's like, well, I tried to show you.
Yeah, that sounds like MJ from the Sony game.
And then it gets worse, because then she's like...
Hey, remember when after she saw Spider-Man get brutally beat up in the news report, didn't even go to check on him and was just too busy on television? I'm sorry, this MJ is the worst MJ.
Then,
anyway, continue, sorry.
It actually gets worse, because then when she becomes Scream and she's like saying all of these, you know, brutal truths, she's like, I write words I don't... Oh, that's the thing. So Pete confronts her, it's like, why? You told me that you wouldn't write something you didn't believe in. And she says, well, maybe I do believe it. It's like, okay, fine.
Okay, so you're a cunt. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but then when she screams, she's like, oh, I write words for a man I hate that I don't believe in just to look after you. It's like, you just said you did believe them.
So...
I'm really confused.
So let me get this straight. You're a lying whore, is what you're telling me.
I don't know about whore. Like, she's definitely,
I don't know. I feel like this is like a relationship where she's abusing him in order to make off of him. Just saying. It's the vibe I got in the first game.
It's like I said. It's very much feels like a whole lot of dunking on Pete. Which
Peter has to be miserable.
Which I'm sick of, honestly. I just want Spider-Man to just. It's not even like, oh, he doesn't have to have like a completely happy life, but can we just. I'm just so done with everything being Peter Parker is the worst, and he's terrible, and also he's going to sell his marriage to the devil, and then Paul's going to fuck his wife, and have imaginary kids.
Paul. I keep telling people Paul will not die because Paul is fucking Zeb's self-insert. I cracked the code.
Until Wells gets fired, or leaves, or
unpersoned.
And,
Turns out he abuses his wife or something.
Once Nick Lowe goes, that'll be the end of Wells' run, because it is not going well, and people are not happy. Because why would they be happy?
This isn't the first time they weren't happy and they let it continue.
Yeah, but we'll see. Like, I mean, there's big editorial change-ups coming to Marvel, allegedly, and I can't imagine with the continuously, fucking bottoming Spider-Man sales and the constant fucking bad press. Because it's not even just, the typical, oh yeah, Spider-Man fans are angry because they didn't get what they want. It's like, oh no, people are angry and outright accusing them of racism for fucking the way they treated Kamala Khan.
God.
Which they basically had to walk back anyway, or which it's been proven almost immediately it was such a fucking how cynical and depressing a move it was.
So how quickly did she come back, and did she get the cosmic powers like everybody expected?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I didn't bother to look.
Hey, you should look. Let's find out together.
I'm pretty sure she's already back.
You should look it up. Let's find out together. It'd be funny. Especially with the Guardians movie coming out, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't remember. The second Captain Marvel movie, whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Oh, well, she came back, I mean, there's an article here saying she was resurrected on the 7th of August, so...
They did that pretty quickly, all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knew exactly
we knew she was gonna come back, but did she have the cosmic powers now? That's the question. That's the $100 question.
I mean, she's come back as a mutant.
Well, we knew that was going to happen. The cosmic powers are the important part. Are her powers now Carol's powers?
Let me see if I can find.
Because, if they did that, then I can just go, yeah! And, laugh. Or did they hold back on doing that? Like, did they show restraint for once in doing something stupid?
I'm looking. I think she still has her stretch powers.
Holy shit, they showed restraint. I'm shocked.
But now, give it time.
The movie's still coming out soon. Wait, when does it fucking come out?
November.
Oh, yeah. So they don't have much time left. Gotta make her start shooting laser beams.
As I said, give it time. They'll do it.
Come on, you only got a few more weeks. Laser beams.
It only takes one issue to just throw that shit out.
It's true.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely feels like more than previously, they don't have someone like Joe Quesada running the show who's so staunchly invested in this, who's so staunchly invested that they will just fuck over everything to get what they want. And they don't, and And I kind of feel like with everything else that's going on, because it's like regardless of anything else, every adaptation and version of Spider-Man that is doing well is all the stuff that's basically just saying, yeah, we're not doing what the comics are saying.
Hey, we're gonna do Peter Parker as a happy dad.
Even in some, I mean, at the end of the day, even Insomniac is like, yeah, Pete and MJ are in a relationship and are.
It's true.
Happy.
Even if they write MJ as the worst version of MJ you've ever seen in your goddamn life and is a piece of shit.
Even if she is abusive psychologically.
She is a psychological menace. Honestly, God, I hate this MJ.
I do find it baffling that she's like, oh yeah, I have to work for Jonah, and I have to work for the Bugle.
God, I love this scene. This is my favorite scene.
Oh yeah, where he's how do I disarm a bomb?
This scene is so fucking good.
It's his mutant power. He can sense which wire to cut.
Fucking love this man.
I mean, I don't know what he expected, honestly.
Honestly, you know?
Yeah, at the end of the day, Spider-Man 2 is just... It's more Spider-Man, so if you like Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and you don't really want to just pay attention to the story, and or you don't really have any sort of investment in these characters beyond the games...
I'm sorry, I'm mesmerized by Majima.
Understandable.
It's a shame as the series goes on, there's less of him.
I'm kind of okay with it because I feel like if he was in too much, he would become annoying. I think his shenanigans in 1 and 2 are kind of like...
Yeah, but like especially when you get to 6 and he's like barely has a line of dialogue. It's kind of a thing where you really start to miss him. It's not the first. It's only the first time. No, it's only the second time they pretend to kill him.
I mean, I was also kind of thinking about it because I was talking about the '90s show, and I kind of only just sort of appreciated how much that '90s show has done for Spider-Man, to the point where most things are adaptations of that show more than they are the comics.
Yeah,
because like the black suit stuff is all cartoon original, like its origins, how it gets to Earth, its effects on Pete. You know, that's all stuff that the cartoon came up with. Like the whole turning evil was not in the comics. Doc Ock as Peter Parker's like mentor / science hero guy, that's from the cartoon.
So much of it is from the cartoon. Kind of unreal, honestly.
You know what else? Norman Osborn talking to Green Goblin in the mirror.
Huh.
That's also from the cartoon.
Avenge me.
I mean, funny, that's also in the cartoon of Harry Osborn talking to his ghost dad in the mirror.
Avenge me!
And it's definitely his ghost dad, because he's telling him shit he had no idea he could have not possibly known about.
Hey, Harry, avenge me!
Also, funnily enough, Raimi movie borrowed Norman Osborn turning into Green Goblin so he could murder all of the people, or try and murder all the people who are trying to oust him as CEO of Oscorp. I mean, this was technically not from the cartoon because it's still referencing Gwen, but taking MJ up to the bridge and throwing her off. Cartoon did that, and then both the movie and Ultimate Spider-Man, the comic, did that. Spider-Verse, cartoon did that as well, though. Sort of. I mean, it had the team of Spider-Man, led by Spider-Man.
Don't you ever darken my door again, you psycho bitch!
What?
Madam Web, or whatever her name is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, she did just kind of show up and then fucking ruin his life a lot of the time.
It's true.
But, you know, it wasn't all bad.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. Like, 90s cartoons, like, I think also the last time you get to see Angry Peter show up.
It's the last. Well, it's also the last time Pete was allowed to be, you know, an adult.
That too. Well, I mean, he's an adult in this one.
Yeah. I will say this: the voice cast does a great job, which is expected. Most of them are all are either like seasoned vets or they're pretty used to the characters. I fucking hate that Tony Todd is Venom. Not because I don't love it. I'm like, Tony Todd is Venom, yes, but he has like 8 minutes worth of fucking scenes, and like even of those 8 minutes, like of talking scenes, and even of those like 8 minutes, like a minute of them is just him roaring. I'm like, no, I want him to be talking. Why doesn't Venom drive a truck in this game?
I heard someone be happy that Venom didn't do silly shit like that, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Get some help.
But it's like
they're like, yeah, I'm glad there's no Venom truck. I'm like, fuck you, Venom truck is great.
There should have been a Venom truck.
Venom truck is the best!
There should have been Venom going... I mean, it should have been Eddie Venom, but it should have been Venom going, Spider-Woman!
I was just about to say, Spider-Woman!
Do you remember who voiced Venom in the 90s cartoon?
No.
It's Hank Azaria.
Huh.
It's Moses Lack himself.
Good. Good.
So, you know, makes sense why he hates Spider-Man. He did cost him his job, his reputation,
my apartment?
My apartment? That is another thing the cartoon did. Gave Brock more of a reason to actually hate Spider-Man.
You weren't fast enough, Pete! Fuck off! I hate you! Mean.
Yeah. Which, like, no one else, which, as I said, every other adaptation doesn't ever get right. As much as I love to meme on my apartment, it is like the perfect thing of a whole really series. Because it's a whole season's worth of let's dunk on Brock in ways that suck, but also Brock's kind of a piece of shit, so you're not that sad he's getting his comeuppance. But also you can see why someone like Brock would go, Spider-Man's to blame for why everything doesn't go my way. Oh, that's another thing the cartoon did. Kurt Connors is Pete's teacher.
Huh.
Which even the comics have then gone back and done.
Did they, You know what I fear is the day that they decide to threaten us with bringing Paul into the games.
I guess I could say the end of the game. I haven't even talked about Kraven. There's a reason for that. Kraven's trash.
I mean, he always is trash.
Oh, but this one's worse, because in this they're like, oh yeah, Kraven killed off like half the Sinister Six off screen.
What?
Oh yeah, Kraven in this, he has killed Scorpion, which he does on screen, but Vulture, Electro, and Shocker are all dead off screen.
What?
So, they're all dead.
That's so dumb.
Which, you know...
Now you can't, well, now they're gone. You can't use them if you want to use them in future shit.
Yeah.
Good job, idiot!
They probably don't want to do Rhino, because he's in Miles Morales twice already. Martin Lee's depowered. I mean, the end of the game is basically Harry becomes brain dead. Or comatose, and Norman Osborn's like, well, even though I'm like a 60-year-old man, I guess I'm going to become the Goblin now. Which I also fucking don't like this version of Norman Osborn being like actually loving father.
Yeah, that's not right.
Like Norman as
But they didn't
father.
even like they didn't even hint at him being loving in the other one. It meant more of like he fucked up and was like, oh shit.
Well, he fucked up because he was so in the first game. He fucked up because he's so desperate to find a cure for his son's illness. So that's why he's doing it. But that's the point, is making him this like really loving, sympathetic father. And I'm like, it's going to be real hard to have him be a giggling psychopath then.
You know, maybe this story was written by Harry Norman.
Maybe.
Maybe that's why Peter's just shit on the entire time. MJ is a colossal bitch.
I'd be surprised. Just reveal at the end that this is just like the Clone Saga.
And that's why you shouldn't put me in jail.
That's why you should make me the head of head of Shield.
Yes.
Well, he's made a very compelling argument. So let's do that. Let's make Norman Osborn resident psychopath head of the multinational spy
he writes Miles like that specifically so they don't think he's racist.
I mean, I don't think Norman. I don't want to accuse Norman of being racist. Norman just hates a lot. Hates anyone who doesn't, want to just immediately subject themselves to him.
Yeah, he was a little concerned that they might think that if he made fun of if he made fun of Miles too. So he's like, Miles is the better Spider-Man. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. Now they won't know that I'm evil, and they won't think I'm racist. I'm not racist, but I don't want them to I don't want them to say that and then be like, wait a minute, maybe he's evil. That'd be a whole problem.
So yeah, Kraven kills off most of the Sinister Six, and then he's barely actually in the game. And do you want to guess what his motivation is?
No, but go ahead, tell me.
He's dying of cancer, and he wants someone to kill him.
Well, this really is a AAA Western game.
So, he's technically doing Last Hunt, although thankfully they restrained themselves from just straight up ripping off Last Hunt. And then he does die because Venom bites his head off. And I'm like, wow, what a wet fart of a character who I really don't care that he's dead.
What is it?
Anyway.
You know what I realize is kind of an issue with this? Does this not sound odd? With 2, right away that I have an issue with. They're doing the movie thing where they just like killing off the Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
And it's something that I didn't really even like back then.
Well, I mean, it's even worse because, like, Miles, in the Miles Morales game, his villain, the Tinkerer, dies at the end of that game too.
Oh, so it started there where they just started killing them.
Yeah. So the post-credit scenes, there's like 4 of them, and one of them I'm really a bit concerned about because it's like Miles get introduced to a new friend, Cindy Moon. I'm like, wait,
Cindy Moon.
That's Silk?
No.
Isn't Silk the character that's like, oh yeah, if she and Peter are near each other, they just need to fuck?
No.
And then they like introduce her as Miles, as I guess Miles' age?
No.
So I'm like, I assume they're not going to do that, but man, that is a I mean, also too many spider people, my usual complaint, but also, man, that is awkward as fuck.
What?
Because you can't get past that. That is. Oh, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I guess it's so that they can have a Spider-Gwen that's not Spider-Gwen because. Well, they've not had a Gwen Stacy because there's no Green Goblin.
Yes.
Unless they.
Honestly, I'm surprised they went with Silk and not Gwen. That's weird.
Unless in the 3rd game they go full Arkham Knight and then they just do surprise flashbacks to Gwen Stacy.
They might.
But yeah, so they introduce Cindy Moon in a post-credit scene, and then another post-credit scene. Norman's like goes to see Dr. Octopus and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna take this. I've got this goblin serum, and I want you to help me." And Octopus is like, "Well, even though I hate you, and I'm glad your son is dead or whatever, or brain dead, or who cares? I'll help you. Fuck, I'll help you, Norman. Why not? Let's kill Spider-Man." So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to Green Goblin in his Green Goblin power armor because it's trash. I like power armor, but not every villain needs to just be power armor.
Yeah.
And this is
that
part
seems
of the
to be
other
a
problem.
thing lately, just giving characters power armor as their powers instead. That's actually something that I was thinking about the other day, is how, like, there's this weird trend that's been going on for, like, the last, like, 10 plus years of trying to strip away supernatural elements to supernatural stuff. And I don't know why, and I'm going to blame Metal Gear Solid for it.
I wouldn't blame Metal Gear Solid for it.
Hey, remember what they did in 4.
I remember, but then also they can't walk back. No, that is straight up just a ghost.
Oh, don't. If Kojima was still in charge, he'd figure out a way to walk back at being a ghost.
He probably would, but he's not in charge, and
he would be like, yeah, it's a residual from the nanomachine parasites, nanoparasites.
And we'll probably never get a Metal Gear that's actually new. At best, I think we might get, like, sort of HD remakes of other Metal Gear games, like Delta. But I don't think we'll ever get, like, an actual new Metal Gear ever again. So, maybe we'll get that movie that they've been threatening for like 20 years. I hope not, but we might. But yeah, I think part of the reason why they do power armor is Iron Man, but also it's, you know, so they can be like, hey, look, guys, it's not this, it's a new take, it's redesigned. I'm like, oh no, you just made the Vulture look like a dude in a jumpsuit. It's like, I mean, I get it. They're like, oh, we can't do costumes, our superhero thing. That would be insane. But I'm like, yeah, I just don't really see how this is Vulture, or how this dude has a gauntlet and that makes him the Shocker. He is not Padded Pete. He never fucking will be my boy. So, you know. But yeah, it'll be Goblin in power armor, and then he's not gonna be, you know, fun. He's just gonna be like, you killed my boy, or made my boy a vegetable. I'm gonna kill you. And then maybe he'll like have a laugh. He'll have like one laugh at the end to imply he's all goblin-y. And I'm like, I just want a goblin who's a psycho.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, how, like, I kind of miss, and it's like, whenever, I kind of miss just an evil guy who's just evil. And whenever we occasionally get one, I'm just like, oh! Jack Horner!
I mean, I'm fine with villains having, like, motivations. What I kind of object to is this idea that a villain only can have worth as a character if they have, like, a personal connection to the hero, which is something that something that they just keep doing. Of like, I mean, the MCU is massively guilty of just half of their villains
everything
being,
is Tony Stark,
hero, but bad. Well, that, but also like half of the villains just being, or more than half, like 75% of the villains being, what if the hero, but bad. You know, and these are all characters who do have fairly, you know, large and varied rogues galleries. It's like, did Iron Man really need to fight evil Iron Man 2 times straight away, or back to back? Did that, like, do we really have to have, like, what if Doctor Strange fought evil Doctor Strange, and then also fought actually, for reals, evil Doctor Strange? Or what if Black Panther fought other Black Panther? But this one's gold. It's like, what about Black Panther's other villains? They're not important. Okay. But,
I'm just,
you know,
it's that weird fucking bit where the guy just gave all this stuff to a hooker, basically.
Yeah, these things happen. Well, you know, the DC, if I bothered to watch most of the DC movies, I'm sure I would complain. Now, why is it DC movies they just fight evil them?
They probably are doing the same thing. I haven't watched to be fair, I haven't watched the Batman because it's 3 hours long, and why the fuck is a Batman movie 3 hours long?
Well, he fights the Riddler, who, as far as I'm aware, is definitely not the Riddler. And also, and the main thing I know is that Batman and Commissioner Gordon become incredibly stumped by this riddle that's like, what is a rat with wings?
How is that? I can figure that out, and I'm stupid!
You know who
It's
else
a squirrel.
figured that
No,
out?
I'm kidding.
You know who else figured that out? Oswald Cobblepot. The fucking penguin's like, of course it's a bat, you morons.
What did you think it was? A penguin, you idiot?
Really? Okay.
Idiot.
I'm Batman and I can't think. What do you mean?
Look at me, I'm Batman, the world's greatest detective, and I can't figure out it's a fucking bat!
You know the worst part is he literally does say, what are you, the world's greatest detective, sarcastically.
Listen,
Which
that doesn't...
makes me fucking
that
cringe.
doesn't make your problem go away if you're writing. That highlights it. I said that as a joke because of how stupid it was for the world's greatest detective to be stumped on a fucking riddle a child could solve. What the fuck?
It's not even a riddle. Which, I guess, is pretty on brand with the Riddler, now that I think about it.
You know what I mean.
What someone should do to the... Someone should go to the Riddler and be like, hey, Riddler, I have a riddle for you. What has a mouth but can't talk? What runs but never walks? And he's like, oh, what runs but never walk? And he's like, ah, it's a river, obviously. It's like, no, it's you after I punch you in the face!
You know what, it's close to an hour, and it's gonna be a lot of me talking, taking Haruka to places. I think we'll stop here for today.
Good enough time.
Yeah.
Sabo
is dead. Maybe he didn't want to hear us ranting about comic book stuff for superhero comic book stuff for like an hour.
No, what are you talking about? He fucking loves that, especially when we can give him a chance to tell us about how he almost punched Joe Quesada.
It's true.
That's like his actually favorite story to tell.
It is, but rest in peace, Sabo. This video is in dedication to your memory.
Live in peace, Sabo, 2023 to 2023.
It's time to leave.